Judge King orders the 15-year-old student to change into a county jail uniform.
What? This is the best. I love this man so far. Judge, don't make me look bad for defending you. Please don't make me do it. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Hey everybody, Mark Breyer of the Husband Wife Law Team, a real true-to-life trial lawyer over here. Now today, we're going to look at some judges behaving badly. Previously, you guys saw some lawyers behaving badly. Maybe you want my perspective, because I've actually stood in the well and fought for people, and I've dealt with judges of all types. So listen, we're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who's watching all these videos. Please make sure you subscribe if you have not done so yet. And now together, let's get into it. I'd love to hear your comments. I love seeing what you have to say so that I can do a better job to serve you. Let's do this together. Now we're going back to Motown, where I'm from. Let's have some fun. Wait, judges act badly in my city? It can happen. All right, let's go.
We go to Detroit, Michigan, and the courtroom of Judge Kenneth King.
Go green!
Today, a group of high schoolers on a field
No
trip
way this
to
man
see
acts
the
badly. He's a Spartan. I don't believe it.
During a break between cases, as the judge answers some of the students' questions, one of them begins to nod off. And Judge King is not happy.
You fall asleep in my courtroom one more time, I'm putting you in the back, understood? You don't care?
Let's hold on for 1 second. You're in the real world now. Your class came to court. This judge is trying to impress upon you the importance of the proceedings, and you go to sleep. Now, a little scared straight isn't the worst thing. Let's see how scared and how straight now. Let's see what happens. So far, it's okay for a judge to make you, oh man, I'm in a courtroom now. I guess this is serious. Let's see where we go from here, because sometimes I say things like that, and whoever I'm defending makes me look really bad.
What's your name? I'm talking to you. What's your name? All right. You can step to the back and get dressed. Come this way now. One thing you'll learn about my courtroom is that I am not a toy. I'm not to be played with.
Judge King orders the 15-year-old student to change into a county jail uniform.
What? This is the best. I love this man so far. That's not even a defendant. That's a 15-year-old dressed like a defendant whose heart is racing, and maybe they're learning that you got to respect the system. Let's see. Let's see. Judge, don't make me look bad for defending you. Please don't make me do it. Here we go. Let's see what happens.
When the bailiff returns the sleepy student to the courtroom, not only is she wearing a jail uniform, she's also been placed in cuffs.
All right, so now we have a problem.
That escalated quickly.
I'm not saying you should humiliate people. My point was to say, making them throw on the county blues or county greens or whatever's going on in Wayne County, in and of itself, maybe it helps you go, man, I really learned a lesson. Everyone learns a lesson. You cannot cuff a student for falling asleep in your courtroom. So now we've taken it to a different level. So now I'm slightly concerned that the man I defended may make me look bad. Let's see what happens.
Just like a regular defendant is being held in contempt of court.
The judge even assigns an attorney to defend her.
She just don't give a care. I'm tempted to give her some days in jail as a lesson. You have a brief moment, Your Honor? Sure. I'm thinking maybe she needs to go to the juvenile detention facility. You do understand that we have a jail for kids. Not a very pleasant place to be in that. You guys enjoy your freedom, don't you? Yes. You don't have any freedom there. Mr. King, anything you'd like to add?
Yes, Your Honor. And she told me that she went to sleep late, didn't sleep well, and didn't understand the seriousness of what's going on. I think she's still tired right now. But point has been made.
I'll let your peers decide.
That would be funny if he's gonna apologize and explain what he did. The cuffs are not okay to me. I understand a lot of people are probably commenting right now. Go ahead and comment. You can tell me. You can say, Mark, you don't put a 15-year-old in the county blues or greens or whatever's going on in that county. That's over the line. I understand what you're saying. I also think sometimes we've gone too easy, and life's lessons is better to be learned in a safe place. Handcuffs, not a safe place. Making a lawyer act like a lawyer, that's okay. You're going through the process. I would like to hear at the end of this that he maybe told her something or did something so she knew she wasn't actually facing jail for going to sleep in the courtroom. But the cuffs make me uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie, in this situation.
Decides to have the girl's classmates act as a jury.
All right, by show of hands, who thinks I should show her some deference and give her another chance? Ooh! Raise your hand. Okay, now let me see the hands think I should teach her a lesson and she should spend some time in the juvenile.
Oh, that's wrong.
The jury appears to be split. The Judge King decides to let her off with a warning.
Disrespect, there's zero tolerance for that here. I don't have time for games. I don't care how old you are, if you come in here disrespecting this court, you're gonna pay the piper for it.
Let me just say one other thing. I know everyone's uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with some of it too, but I have been in court where people are facing very serious things and they're wearing things that are disrespectful. They act nonchalant in front of the court. They don't show the deference. Now, a 15-year-old, tired, kind of maybe nodding off court. By the way, court can be really boring, especially if you don't know what's going on. Am I uncomfortable with it? Yes. Do I think we've gone way over the line with handcuffs? Yes. But there is a plus side. He's trying to make a point.
Change back into her regular clothes and leave with her fellow classmates. But when news of the incident went public, it was Judge King who got a scolding, getting temporarily suspended with pay by the 36th District Court. He was also ordered to undergo training to address his behavior. Judge King completed the training, and the suspension was lifted, but he was reassigned from the criminal division to traffic court.
I'd love to hear your comments. I'm serious. Are we being too soft with these kids, scaring them a little bit? Nothing actually happened to her. Is that a good way to impress upon everyone the seriousness of court to help them stay straight? Or was this just an overbearing judge who loved his power? I think he was trying to make a point. I think he went a little too far, except for the cuffs where he went way too far. Behind the camera, we got a key question.
To what extent is a judge allowed to make his own rules inside the courtroom? Even though this wasn't during an actual trial.
A judge is not above the law. The law gives the judge an unusual amount of power in his or her courtroom. She did not violate a law, okay? She didn't speak out. She did not obstruct justice. She did not obstruct court proceedings. It may be disrespectful, and I'm not going to pretend I know every little misdemeanor law that might exist on the handling of courtrooms in Wayne County, 36th District Court, but I doubt she violated anything. So when you put her in cuffs, that's false arrest. Now here's where it gets complicated. So you can sue someone for false arrest. Let's call it false imprisonment. It's a better actually tort than false arrest here. When you stop someone from being able to go somewhere, that's called false imprisonment. You don't have to actually be in prison for false imprisonment. Someone on the street could be sued for false imprisonment of someone else without them, just because you have no freedom of movement. Judges have immunity from a lot of what they do. This is actually really interesting. Could he be sued? If he doesn't have immunity, I would say with the handcuffs, the answer is yes. Before the handcuffs, dressed like this, I'm gonna scare you, but she is free to leave, right? Once you put her in cuffs, she's no longer free to leave. So I do think he went too far. I also think sometimes where we used to go too far, that would help kids, and you look back and go, man, I'm glad that person was really tough on me. Now we all freak out, and it makes us so uncomfortable. When someone did what a generation ago, we would have been like, yeah, that's what you get. Don't go to sleep in the courtroom.
Lawyers and a judge are trying to select a jury, a critical step in ensuring a fair trial. The defendant is Jose Azucena, who's charged with 40 counts of sexual misconduct, including kidnapping and rape of a minor. It's day 2 of jury selection, and Azucena's attorney is interviewing a prospective juror who sits off camera.
By the way, you guys know why we have the jurors sit off camera? It's because we want to make sure we protect them so people are willing to show up and don't have to fear being harassed for their verdict. So that's why these cameras are always set up whenever possible where you don't ever catch a juror.
The judge listens on.
So can you be fair to both sides?
I think I would be biased.
You're off this jury,
I don't know how.
but you didn't say that yesterday.
It looks like the judge has taken issue with a potential juror.
All right, I got to stop and explain this to you. This is what's going on right now. Judges oftentimes overstep what they ought to do, in my strong opinion, as a trial lawyer, not a judge. So we call up all these jurors. And so the judge is afraid because the judge has a bunch of cases back to back to back to back. If a trial gets delayed, it throws off everything. It makes him further behind. Imagine you're a judge, you have way too many cases, way too many trials, you can't keep up. If a trial goes too long, you're even further behind, but you got to keep going. There's nothing you can do. You can't just get rid of a case. So judges are sitting there going, I don't want jurors excused if they don't need to be excused. Why? Because let's say you call up 50 jurors and you need 12 for the jury. As soon as 39 jurors are gone, you have to get a whole new panel and start some of them all over. And it could cost you a whole extra day. So some judges, instead of actually letting justice be done, make efficiency trump justice. So here we have a judge doing what I see judges do all the time. Hold on there, potential juror. You said you couldn't be fair. Let me enforce and encourage and almost threaten you to make sure you say you can be fair when you've already said you can't be fair. Imagine being charged with a crime. Someone says, I don't think I can be fair. And the judge goes, what if I tell you under the law you have to be fair? Oh, okay, then I can be fair. Oh, good, now we're all set. No, you don't magically get rid of that. The efficiency of the court matters, but justice matters more. I've seen this so many times, I cannot count.
Well, I said I had
No,
other
listen, what we're not going to have in this jury is people coming in overnight and thinking up and trying to make up now so they can.
By the way, people going home and thinking up stuff and making up stuff, there's nothing wrong with going home, sleeping on it, waking up and realizing, you know what, I don't think I can be fair. The judge has never slept on anything and woken up and had an answer. You sit there all day. You have no idea what the process is going to be like. You get asked 1,000 questions. You go home and you're like, you know what? I just realized I totally think I'm against one side or the other. We want you to speak up. Now, this judge isn't just intimidating this one juror. He's in effect saying to every other juror, don't you dare say a word about what you thought of last night. We don't want justice first, we want efficiency first, and that is a big problem.
So they can get out of the jury. That's not going to happen, all right?
Meanwhile, you're just assuming that the person's trying to get off jury duty. If they really want off jury duty, they would have said it yesterday, Judge. Maybe they actually gave it some thought. Maybe they're trying to get off jury duty. They've just said they're biased. Someone's accused of something serious. What if he didn't do it? I'm not saying he didn't do it. What if he didn't do it? People have been falsely accused and falsely convicted. And you're trying to scare everyone into making sure we get to the trial so he can get convicted. This is concerning and it happens way too often.
If I find that someone said something yesterday under oath and changes it because they're trying to fabricate something and get out of serving on this jury, there's going to be repercussions.
The
Okay,
judge
a
is
threat.
unsatisfied and demands an explanation.
What's going on here? Tell me what's going on.
I said I had other issues yesterday, and you said you'd get back to me.
All right, so why you got issues? Why can't you're saying that you can't be fair and impartial to both sides? You're going to completely throw out our entire justice system because you don't want to be fair and impartial.
A judge who totally does not understand the purpose of our system, okay? You can't choose to be impartial. Okay, let me use me as an example. I know at the University of Michigan, they cheat and they lie. Since I know that, I could be fair because it's fair to say that's what they are, but I cannot be impartial. To just show up and go, I will be impartial if Jim Harbaugh takes a stand and swears he was falsely, I cannot be impartial to that. This judge is so mad. He wants that woman to say the magic words, even if they're not true to her. He wants to move cases and get them resolved quickly. You guys may not see why I'm so worked up. You guys have seen me do a lot of these videos. You've rarely seen me this emphatic about something. Judges who do not understand their very important role are problematic. And I don't care about him throwing the piece of paper. I do. By the way, a judge swearing while talking to a juror, you as a judge in this moment, this is our justice. You are the representation of what we believe in. So I have a problem with that, but I have a way bigger problem with what people probably didn't know what was going on, which is basically someone potentially getting railroaded and maybe getting falsely convicted, okay? And I'm not saying this person didn't do it. I have no idea if this guy did or didn't do it. If he did it, let him go to jail, prison for a long time. Let him go. That's not my point. He deserves a fair trial, just like you would and anyone else would, and this judge is trying to take it away because he's in a hurry.
Disgusted with the juror, who happens to be a nurse, the judge throws a book, which turns out to be a pocket-sized version of the U.S. Constitution, against the wall.
He should read it instead of throwing it.
So attorneys attempt to intervene.
Your Honor, may we approach? Your Honor.
You can't approach. You're not going to be fair and impartial.
Like I said, with my nursing history, and I've been involved with child abuse, and I've been involved with young girls that deliver 13 years old. It makes me rather, biased.
Ma'am, you're off this jury. You're off this jury. You're removed. Go home. All right?
The nurse is excused from jury duty, not before the judge gets in one last remark.
Before he gets to that remark, and he just shut down everyone else from saying a word about what they truly feel about this case.
I don't like your attitude.
I don't like your
The case against
attitude.
Azucena eventually makes it to trial and he's found guilty. He's sentenced to life in prison, but that's not where the story ends.
You're saying that you can't be fair and impartial to both sides.
The Nevada Supreme Court overturns the conviction, claiming Judge Scotti created an intimidating environment which tainted the jury panel.
And they were right. This is not pro-child. You cannot have a justice system where the court is intimidating people from saying what they actually think if they're biased.
As Suzanne is awarded a new trial.
By the way, he'll probably be convicted again, so who cares?
And a new judge. Until then, he remained in custody. Although Scotty apologized for the incident, his outburst resulted in ethics charges, courtesy of the Nevada Commission of Judicial Discipline.
By the way, if he was kept on the bench, then probably this was just a bad day. You know, judges are people too, so I don't know if this was normal or not. I totally disagree with what the judge did, and it wasn't the swearing, and it wasn't even the little unnecessary, I don't like your attitude. It's what's going on underneath that a lot of judges do, but they do it with a better attitude, better demeanor, so no one realizes how counterproductive it is to our justice system.
It's interesting too, because his actions not only intimidated that specific juror and the rest of the jury, but it caused delayed justice for any victims of the person that was in court.
I love the point, because the reality is that little kids were abused. Those kids, I don't know how little, but kids were abused. Their whole families have to go through this terrible court process. Now they got to do it again. It's brutal, and it was totally avoidable. One of the keys to holding people accountable is being able to show what they did. Like, no one may really give enough credit to Courtcam and some other people that are in the courtroom doing this. They got to get permission from the judge. I've had it happen in my trials. They have to set them up the day before. They have to use their equipment, their people, their editing. I get to sit here as a trial lawyer and comment on it, but I do want to give a shout out to people that are actually allowing us to see what happens, which keeps everybody honest.
I don't know if you saw that, but there was a moment when one of the attorneys was trying to approach the bench and the judge denied that. What do you think about that?
So this was, I believe we have the prosecutors. I'm not certain, because she could have been standing up from that table. Whomever was trying to approach was probably trying to say, hey, judge, we want to make sure that we don't have to go up to the Court of Appeals and do this all over again. So we will stipulate that with what this juror said, even if we agree with you, Judge, that she's trying to get out of it, we don't want to risk that anything on the record could cause the appellate court to find that anything happened that was unfair and impartial. And that may well have been the prosecutor's desk going, guys, we're going to have to do this twice if we don't get him to chill. And had he allowed them to approach, he might have listened. Now, with a judge that heated, you probably can't just walk up and say, you know, or I wouldn't, Judge, you're out of line, you know, you're out of control, this is going to look bad. Depending on how well you know the judge, how experienced the judge. Again, you only get this one glimpse into this judge. This judge could be cool, calm, and collected most of the time, and something happened in that judge's life or with that particular juror. He may have been right. This was just a juror trying to get off. Didn't sound like that, but I didn't see the whole thing from the day before. And so that's what was going on. You don't want to win and have to do it again. No one wants to do these trials again. They are a lot of work to prepare for. There's a lot of money on the line, a lot of time invested. In this case, you got families sitting there. Even if they would have kept that juror on, that would have been even worse. If that judge convinces that nurse to stay on the jury, now your chances of surviving appeal are so slim. So you don't even want her on the jury anymore, even if you wanted her before.
Our next stop is inside Circuit Court in Seminole County, Florida, where Judge Jerry Collins has ordered this woman, a victim of domestic violence, to appear before her.
We are here in the matter of State of Florida versus Miles Maynard Brennan.
The victim had been subpoenaed to appear in court a week earlier to testify against Miles Brennan, the father of her child, who she alleged had choked her and threatened her with a knife. But she failed to show up. As a result, the state dismissed the charge of dangerous exhibition of a weapon, and Brennan pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of simple battery. He served only 16 days in jail. So today, Judge Collins demands some answers from the victim who failed to show up when subpoenaed.
I just want to say one thing, because I'm conflicted before we even start. On the one hand, if you get a subpoena from the court, you have to show up. I'm happy to see courts actually enforce those subpoenas so people don't just ignore them and go on with their life. If you don't enforce your rules, the rules don't matter. There are no rules.
This gives you power over me?
There is a flip side, and I want to see how the judge handles it. This is domestic violence. We know that many victims of domestic violence are scared out of their minds. So I hope this is approached fairly and not assuming this is someone who just blew off the court. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see how the court starts with this woman, to see if she's coming at it from a fair place, like why, see if she was in danger or scared or something else, or if she was just at home watching reruns of the Flintstones.
You need to tell the court why I should not hold you in contempt of court. I can sentence you to jail.
Your Honor, I'm very sorry for not attending last Wednesday. I've been dealing with depression and just a lot personally since this happened. My anxiety is like...
Why didn't you show up to court?
My anxiety, and I'm just...
You think you're gonna have anxiety now? You haven't even seen anxiety. You disobeyed a court order, knowing that this was not going to turn out well for the state. Is it true what you told the police?
Yes.
Then why wouldn't you come to testify?
Whew! This is not a movie and this is not TV. That's a real woman going through it. She just got attacked. Anyone ever been jumped or been in a regular fight? Anyone been in a situation where they were outnumbered? How about where your significant other pulls a knife on you? Might that create anxiety, depression? What pre-existing things was that adding to? How long has this been going on? It's easy to sit here in judgment of this judge, so to speak, which I'm doing. What I'd rather do, to be fair, is to go, I don't know if this judge is actually listening and trying to get to the... I'm not saying this woman doesn't deserve to be held in contempt. I'm saying we're premature on coming at her like this and finding out what really happened. I don't feel nearly enough questions were asked, and when you start with, I can hold you in contempt and put you away, that's not a great way to open dialogue and find out what really happened and what's going on.
I went to the domestic abuse class. I asked them to drop everything. I'm trying to move on with my life. I'm like homeless now. I'm living at my parents' house. Everything has been shut off. I just sell everything I own. Like, I'm just not in a good place right now.
And violating a court order did not do anything for you. I hereby find you in contempt of court. I sentence you to 3 days in the county jail.
While Judge Collins motions for the victim to be cuffed and taken away,
Turn around.
the distraught victim tries one last desperate appeal.
Judge, I'll do anything. Please, please.
You should have showed up. And you should have showed up.
I have a 1-year-old son, and I'm trying to take care of him by myself. But I'm begging you, please don't. Please.
I've already issued my order.
How about before you find her in contempt and put her away for 3 days at taxpayer expense? Find out if she's got any kids. Find out if she could volunteer with other people who are abused. Find out if you could do something that has consequences that don't take her away from her son while she's potentially homeless, sleeping on a couch with electricity cut off, to find out what's really going on. Or, just use your power. What do you guys think? Am I being too soft here? She ignored it. She did ignore it. And if you or I ignore a subpoena and had no reason to ignore it, and you want to throw us in the county jail, I'll go play ping pong for 3 days, throw me in the county. I don't care. You know what? My kids can't bother me there. So whatever you want to do, it's all good. But there were questions that needed to be asked here and other considerations that should have been had before 3 days. Just because I have the power, I'll show you.
When there's something extremely traumatic that happens to somebody that has to go to court, are they allowed to delay the court proceedings until they're mentally okay to stand in trial? Because I feel like that would affect their chance at a fair trial, especially if they're not the one being charged.
So here's the problem. This woman was in effect the witness to a crime. The criminal defendant has a right to a speedy trial. The victim being unable to appear does not take away the constitutional right to a speedy trial of the accused. And the reason they dismissed it when she didn't show, probably in some form or another related to his rights under state or federal law. You can't just go, hey, your victim isn't ready, because at that point it's not your victim, it's your alleged victim. And there's really just not a lot the court was probably able to do. The judge and the prosecutor and everyone in the courtroom probably knew they were letting this guy off easy. And it got them mad because they didn't want him to get off easy. They wanted him to be accountable. She's human. She hated seeing him get away with it. She hated seeing that the person didn't show up so that he could have been put away for a while to think about what he did and maybe be deterred from doing it again. It's not her motivation that's wrong. As I said at the beginning, her making this witness come in, great. People can't just ignore subpoenas, but ask some questions and try to figure out what's really going on. Now, I don't even know. We didn't even hear the questions. So for all I know, this thing about anxiety and depression could have all been made up. Maybe she needed 3 days. Maybe she did blow off the court system, but we never really found out because the court came right at her from the beginning without trying to find out more, listen closely, and decide when to use your power.
But the tables will soon turn, and Judge Collins will have to answer for what she just did and said.
Good morning. Welcome to the Florida Supreme Court.
We're at the Florida Supreme Court in Tallahassee, Florida.
Whoa, I didn't know this was coming. Okay, let's see. By the way, judges have to answer to people too. They have to answer to higher judges. So we got violation of basically judicial conduct rules is probably what we're about to see in regards to what happened there.
A few months after a local news station aired footage of Judge Jerry Collins berating a domestic abuse victim for not showing up in court. The Florida Judicial Qualifications Commission finds that Collins has violated the state's Code of Judicial Conduct.
By the way, one more shout out for those who are in the courtroom that record these things. This isn't just about this judge. It's about deterring bad conduct from other judges. I can tell you right now, she's used to being the one in control, and she isn't. She's earned that right. She's the judge. Suddenly, the tables are turned all the way. She's in front of the most powerful judges in the state. She's got to answer to them, but every other judge sees that, and they probably will be deterred to some degree from acting that way in their court. Won't stop them, depending who it is, but it may slow it down.
Today, she appears before the state Supreme Court to face the music in a televised public reprimand led by Chief Justice Jorge Labarga.
Judge Collins, you violated the Code of Judicial Conduct. It occurred when you berated and belittled the distraught victim. The victim apologized for failing to appear, citing anxiety, depression, and a desire to move on from contact with her abuser.
I'm trying to move on with my life. I'm like homeless now.
Meanwhile, Judge Collins, you raised your voice.
You disobeyed a court order.
Used sarcasm.
You haven't even seen anxiety.
Spoke harshly and interrupted the victim.
I'm not in a good place right now.
And violating a court order did not do anything for you. I hereby find you in contempt of court.
Collins, who admitted to the misconduct, stands silently as the tongue lashing continues for 5 long minutes.
Conduct such as yours will not be tolerated. I cannot emphasize enough how intolerable your behavior was in this case.
And now, here's the thing. If they throw the book at her, they send the message to other judges in the state it won't be tolerated. On the other hand, you're going to take away this judge's career over what we just saw. Let's give her 4 days in the county and call it even.
Damn good deal. In addition to the harsh public reprimand, Collins agrees to take courses in anger management and domestic violence. But for some, that's not enough, as online petitions demanded she be removed from the bench. But she doesn't lose her job.
So in this case, the abuser got 16 days in jail and the victim got 3.
Right.
To me, that seemed like an injustice just because of what actually happened outside of the courtroom. How might the court's actions in this case discourage other victims from seeking justice against their abuser?
So here's the problem. He wasn't convicted of what he was accused of. He was convicted of something much more minor. Battery. You could literally walk up to someone and push them, and that's battery. That's all they were able to convict him of without her testimony. So he didn't get 16 days to 3. He got 16 days because he wasn't convicted of what they said. And that's because she didn't show up. I'm sure if this judge was sitting next to me now, she'd say, as bad as my conduct was, because it got aired, people are gonna know the importance of showing up. I agree. If we don't show up to stand up in court to the people who do bad things, then they get off the hook. You know, I think it is so hard as it is for victims of domestic violence to show up and fight. But I don't know that, in my opinion, this rare thing where it's like, because you didn't show up and fight, you get 3 days. People are gonna go, well, I'm not gonna report it, because then I'm also going to skip out on it. I would like to think this will encourage victims to show up and encourage everyone else to honor subpoenas, but I do recognize your point.
How can lawyers encourage their clients to attend court, even when doing so may be extremely difficult for them physically and emotionally?
So here's the craziest thing. In this case, there's no lawyer to help this client show up in court because that woman was not a client, she was a witness. We know she was the victim. We see her as a party, but it's not a party. It's the state of Florida versus her abuser. So she had no lawyer. So when I have clients that don't want to show up in court, I work with them, I listen to them. We will drive them if necessary. We will send a car if necessary. We'll send an Uber or a private driver. We will do what's necessary to surround our client with support so they know they're in a good place and have them show up. She didn't have that. The system doesn't provide that. Now, many systems do have a victim's advocate, but the victim's advocate does not have the resources of a private trial lawyer to actually help people out. So that really hurt her. She really didn't have anyone on her side to be there for her in that moment, which makes that even harder.
Next, we're in La Plata, Maryland for a jury selection. 25-year-old Delvon King is representing himself today on weapons charges.
Bad start.
After he was caught carrying a regulated firearm during a traffic stop. Just 3 months earlier, King was appearing at a preliminary hearing for the charges when he fled the courtroom and temporarily eluded police. Because of the fleeing incident, King is required to wear a remote control stun cuff on his leg while appearing in court. And now, as he reads a prepared argument,
Stop.
there seems to be another problem. At the bench is 72-year-old Robert Naley. The judge retired the previous year, but was called back part-time to hear cases. This hearing got off to a rocky start when King claimed to be a Moorish American, an offshoot of the anti-government sovereign citizen movement, and insisted his true name was not Delvon King.
Okay, so if you're sitting out here and you're watching YouTube videos and you dig the sovereign citizen thing, that's fine, you can dig it. Just know it's insane. It has no basis in law. So I would encourage you to not assume that because you and your friends online tell each other that you don't have to follow the laws of the United States, that you don't. You do, or you can choose not to and be in the jails and prisons of the United States.
Do you want to watch an episode of Sovereign Citizens appearing in court?
No, please don't make me watch an episode of Sovereign Citizens. So basically, you guys don't know this, but I basically have a badge and a gun. Now how? I did one day I did a ride along with a former client and we pulled over a sovereign citizen. We pulled over. I didn't do a lot of it. I was sitting in the passenger seat, but...
You're the intimidation.
Yeah. I'm the reason that everything went smoothly. Listen, you can believe what you want. Here's the problem with the internet. Well, there's not one. Let's use one. If you have an opinion that only 1 in a million people have, it's probably either brilliant or unbelievably stupid. Let's go on the unbelievably stupid side. Before the internet, if you had an opinion that was so dumb, only 1 out of a million would believe it. You can go your whole life without meeting anyone else with an opinion that dumb. But now there's 300 other Americans who can meet online and start agreeing with each other, which attracts other Americans and more until everyone's like, whoa, look at, there's thousands of us. This is real. It's every bit as dumb as it sounds. You really think you could just show up and just go, the laws don't apply to me, and our court system's gonna go, oh, you're a sovereign citizen. Oh, take that off of him. You are free to leave. I didn't realize that the laws did not apply. Come on.
It's just dumb. Now, as Judge Naley explains the jury selection process, King continues reading from his prepared argument, which questions the court's jurisdiction over him.
And by the way, the judge is annoyed by this, probably.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
Because he's got a court to run and other cases waiting and other people waiting. On top of that, he's retired and he's only back here to help out because the court system's overburdened. And now he's going to listen to this guy read something that he already knows by sentence 2. It's a sovereign citizen who has no idea what he's talking about.
Stop. Mr. Sheriff, do it. Use it.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Come on. All right, that is insane. All right, everything I said to defend the judge, I take it back. Come on, man. You can't stunt for what? Because he annoyed you a little bit? It is time to fully retire. Get out of here, man. Come on. Do it. Why? Because he wouldn't listen for a minute and he annoyed you? Do you know how much power you have in that courtroom? You got to use that.
While King writhes in pain on the courtroom floor, Judge Naley decides to exit the courtroom and take a short break.
All right, I'm going to take 5. Sir. 5 minutes.
Following the brief recess, Judge Naley resumed the hearing, and King continued representing himself. He later agreed to probation before judgment, meaning, in his case, he was sentenced to 2 years in jail on the weapons charge, most of which he'd already served, and in return, no actual conviction would be added to his record. The same cannot be said for Judge Robert Naley. After the courtroom video was made public, the Maryland Court of Appeals immediately rescinded Naley's ability to hear cases.
Good job, Court of
He would
Appeals.
also later be charged with a misdemeanor civil rights violation, to which he pleaded
100%.
guilty, and was sentenced to a year probation.
You hear the way I was mocking the guy's self-serving sovereign citizen views, and I immediately then said this judge had no right to do it. Both those things are true at the same time. I don't care how ridiculous his views are. He interrupted you. You have power as a judge. There's things you could do, but to inflict physical pain because someone is annoying you and they have arguments that you know have no basis in the law is so far over the top. And I do feel like a lot of times what gets lost is the ability of people to understand that there's nuance. It's not one side or the other. First guy was annoying, ignorant, and wrong. The judge is just way out of line.
And pay a $5,000 fine. Following his sentence, Robert Naley was banned from the bench for life.
That's about right. Remind me of all these judges I've seen.
Next, we're in district court in Louisville, Kentucky. It's 10:45 a.m., and there's a break between cases. Judge Jennifer Leibson appears unhappy because she says additional cases have been added to the day's docket. And she seems to be placing the blame on criminal defense attorney Scott Barton.
The problem is I was the one, Mr. Barton, I find the fact that you added 37 cases on a day when I have a no add-on order to be contemptuous.
Yes, ma'am.
For professional courtesy, I'm not going to have them cuff you, but I'm going to ask you that you step in the back with the sheriffs.
That's right. The judge seems to be seriously considering holding Barton in contempt of court.
Remember what I said before? I worked for this great woman, Ada. She taught me a lot. She said that sometimes judges get black robe disease. So I don't know what he did or did not do, but ask some questions before you hold him in contempt. He may have done it. Stop and ask questions. Use your power fairly.
He's for adding new cases. The court clerk is.
Judge, in defense, can I say something?
I wouldn't.
I don't put these on.
I'm going to ask that you step in the back with the sheriffs.
Doesn't want to hear a word.
If you want to call an attorney to represent you, then you certainly can.
Turns out the judge is actually playing a prank on Barton. And after he exits, she lets everyone else in on the courtroom joke.
We're just kidding, but he doesn't know it.
While the gallery's enjoying a collective laugh, an oblivious Barton is not amused.
No, he's human. Oh, he's so mad. Did you see his face? Did you see his face?
He's hot. 5 minutes later, Barton's brought back into the courtroom and is finally told it was all a joke. In a surprise twist, the judge self-reported the prank to the Kentucky Judicial Conduct Commission, who found that her actions constituted misconduct and publicly reprimanded her, saying she violated judicial standards.
All right, I just want to say something. I do not hate this judge. First of all, she was trying to be funny. Is that the place to be funny? Maybe not, but come on, man. They probably knew each other. The judge and that lawyer probably been in front of the judge countless times. And then she had the courage to go, yeah, it was on me, raise her hand and call it out. I understand she shouldn't have done it. Whatever. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to go, you're the judge. You got to be serious. They have known each other for probably years. He's been in a court. She shouldn't have done it. She publicly reprimanded herself, and maybe we could all take ourselves less seriously, unless there's more to the story, like he had just broken up with her sister. Like, if there was something personal going on, but the way she smiled and reacted, I believe that is not the case. All right, guys, here's what I need. I need you to do a couple things. Number one, we are shooting at this speed. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers. We're like record breaking. Don't forget to subscribe. Please comment. I'd love to know what you thought about today, what you like, what you didn't like. Let me be the best trial lawyer resource I can for you. Thank you for being here from the Husband Wife Law Team. And now look, check this out. Did you like judges behaving badly? Boom! That's me talking about lawyers behaving badly. You like today, you're probably gonna like this one. Go check this out. We will see you next time.